3, 2, 1. Hi everyone, it's the amazing people of Glastonbury, episode 7, and today I've got with me Daisy Foss, the rock and roll angel, and one of the best people in Glastonbury. Genuinely one of the most angelic people you could ever meet. If you know me, you know that I've been working and living at the Daisy Centre for the past 7 months with Daisy, and so I know most of Daisy's stories already. But Daisy, you've been living in Glastonbury for 20 years now, haven't you?
Personally, I've been here at the Daisy Centre for 14 years, but I've been coming for 20 years. So I used to come every weekend or every other weekend, depending, to learn about my spiritual pathway, to learn about all the things that were so exciting at the time. And then in 2006 we opened the Daisy Centre. So yeah, it's 14 amazing years, but 20 years I've watched this town just evolve. It's just been amazing.
The Daisy Centres is a really important space in Glastonbury because Daisy really holds a space and allows for, in the midst of all of the Glastonbury magic and witchcraft and fairies, Daisy brings in Merlin and the angels, which I feel is like a really magical. The angels just confirming. It's a really important role that Daisy does, is she holds space for Merlin and the angels to bring in sort of a grounded wisdom to all of the rest of the Glastonbury chaos. So thank you, Daisy, for doing that, because I know that it's not always easy.
Well, bless you for even pointing it out.
But what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learnt from Merlin over the years? Because he is a huge archetype in Glastonbury, isn't he?
He is phenomenal, and it wasn't until I arrived in Glastonbury on that very first weekend that I appreciated my involvement with Merlin. I'd been selling a pillow on QVC, the shopping channel, and every cover, every packet had a picture of Merlin on, so it was quite incredible because the connection with Merlin and his healing art, which is the one I do, which is vortex healing, was phenomenal. So my biggest lesson was really just to have an open heart and just to be open to what is around, because the magic just arises. It is absolutely fabulous. Merlin is everywhere, and of course the archetype of Merlin is Merlina as well, the female version of Merlin. And Merlin is a title that happens when you reach an attainment and when your energy has matured. It's not elitism. It's not one's better than the next. It's just that when your energy has reached a certain initiation, then these titles arise. So teenagers being the first one usually. So it is quite lovely knowing all the secrets of Glastonbury, or not all of them, but finding out about the secrets of Glastonbury and the lineage and the legends of Merlin. The Merlin of the Abbey is the 7th Merlin, and there are many. My teacher now is the 13th, and there are many more Merlins in the world now than there ever been.
So Daisy, when you first came to Glastonbury, of course, your initial training and initiations with Isis, weren't they? And you've had a lot of Egyptian past lives, and you teach courses on the flower of life, the Egyptian way, and you activate Egyptian keys and codes for people. And you used to do tours in Egypt as well. Do you feel like there's a big connection between Avalon and Egypt as mystery schools?
I believe that Avalon is a living day mystery school. And there's the sounds to confirm again. The angels of Merlin always bring a sound in to confirm. This is Gaius, Merlin's teacher, the aquamarine that helps me, and this is Merlina, the aquamarine. This is the Egyptian priestess within the energy of this crystal, and that's something that I learned very early when I came to this magical space, that Glastonbury and Avalon are very different places, Avalon is the space in the heart. It's the magical mystery space of the magic of the fairies, the divas, the goddesses. All of the magic of Merlin is within that place, the space of Avalon, and the Egyptian. So it's a living mystery school. And there are so many amazing teachers. I think you're speaking to most of them as well in your series. I love what you're doing. It's so beautiful. So the teachers that are here, the living day legends, but also the legends that have been here over the centuries. We've had quite a lot of them. Beyond Fortune is one of my favourites. Tudor Pole, another one. And so there, and I've had too many to mention. They're all trying to come in and go, me. Isis Livingstone was one of those that was the first lady that I met when I came to Glastonbury on a very, very wet night. It's all on the stories on my website. Very wet night in January, and that's how I walked straight into this place, Shambhala, which was dedicated to Isis and all of the Egyptian mysteries. So my first experience of my spiritual journey was going back into that place, and I had, if you said to me you're an Egyptian priestess, I would have sworn at you. I don't think I'd even have been very nice about it. But having been to Egypt over 30 times in the past 20 years now, it is really quite an incredible place. And yes, we started to take our own groups on their spiritual journeys, and that was really exciting. And then when they had their revolution in 2011, Nefertiti came through actually to talk to me and said, you don't have to be in Egypt to be in Egypt, Daisy. And it's so true, because it's the teachings, it's the learning, it's the opening, it's the everything that Avalon has to offer you is in Egypt, and Egypt is here. So the flower of life is the vehicle of the teachings. The angels walked through Dromvla Melchizedek, and the Merkaba was reactivated and remembered by lots of people. So that's what I teach. I teach you how to remember your Merkaba, your body of light, your body of love. And we have the Gabriel room with a pyramid roof, part on the roof, so that we have the pyramid light and the golden pyramid healing coming through the Gabriel room for our healings and meetings and workshops. And of course it's like the engine of the centre here, as is Merlin, and the pond, the water, very important. We even have lilies, like the Egyptian temples would all have lilies in their sacred lakes. So yeah, we brought a little bit of Egypt to Glastonbury, but Glastonbury is a living mystery school.
Daisy, in the video you're sitting right next to Rosie.
Yay!
The biggest, most beautiful piece of rose quartz I've ever seen, and of course she's the master crystal of the rose quartz community, which you've created. It's the most beautiful idea from the minute that I first came into the Daisy Centre. I've loved that the most. But will you tell everyone who's not heard about the rose quartz community and the story of how you adopted Rosie yet?
Well, she did absolutely just land on my doorstep. It was quite phenomenal. I was within the first 3 to 6 months of us being here, a lovely lady, Catherine, came to stay with a friend of hers, and she said flippantly, I'm moving house. I have a crystal and a few things that would you like to look after them for me? Would you like to babysit, because I don't want to put them all in storage? I said, yeah, of course, no problem. So we went to her house in just outside in Devon, outside Taunton, and there was this crystal, and it was like, we hired, thankfully, a truck with a tailgate, but we tried to get the crystal onto the tailgate, and it broke it. It wasn't going anywhere. So we picked up all the other things that Catherine wanted us to look after, and it took about 2 or 3 months before the removal men who were emptying the rest of her house, they bought her here in Glastonbury. And we had to giggle because the company was called Rosie's Removals. And it took 6 burly blokes to roll her across the lawn, and this is where she ended up. She is actually a water fountain, so she does really want water to her, but she's, as my gardener says, if she goes in the water, she'll just sink. She'll just go into the ground. So, and from that time, the energy of this beautiful, beautiful crystal has really brought the energy of love, the rose quartz love, into the centre of the Daisy Centre. And we started to give people little crystal angels that were to remind them that heaven comes to earth, and that the energy of the angels is always, the more earthed and grounded you are, then the more you can radiate that love. So, and the risk that these guests would take them to wherever they were in the world and start their own rose quartz community. I've got a bee all around my head. Hey, blessings, be loved, be loved. So, so now when people come to the Daisy Centre, they gravitate to Rosie, and we have the meditations every Esbat and Sabbat, so that's the solstices and the equinoxes, where we, all around the world, we gather and we connect to the Mother Crystal, this divine Mother being that is Rosie, the rose quartz angel.
Daisy, in all of your years in Glastonbury, what's been your biggest realisation living in this magical town?
In this magical town, you have to be in your truth. Because the minute you step out of your truth, the heavens open, and you have to be in your truth. It is a very magnificent crystal that magnifies everything. You know, that fabulous tour, I'm pointing to it because you can just see it just through the trees here from the garden. This is our tour view, you can just see right through. Brilliant. So the energy of the 50 ley lines really brings all of that energy up and out, and so the biggest lesson is to be in your truth. You cannot come here with a mask or two. You can, but it'll come off. You can come here full of ego, but you'll get booted out. You can come here with other ideas to take over, and you'll just gently realise that it all just drops away. So the biggest lesson I've learned is to open your heart, be in your heart, and to be in your truth at all times. Now, being in your truth doesn't necessarily make it easy for yourself or other people. They often don't like it to start with, and so, you know, they're not only is it being in your truth, it's being in right action. It's being in love, forgiveness, compassion, and truth.
Yeah.
So we have the 12 principles of the angels. I'll say that, the 12 principles of the angels, which are harmlessness, right action, and love. And that follows through to the forgiveness, compassion, and truth, which then opens you to balance and harmony and gratitude. And when all of that's flowing, it is peace, bliss, and grace. So all of that beautiful energy just flows, and those 12 principles are really what I try and live by, Ria. It really is something that I've learned, that if you get too big for your boots get stolen.
For everyone that doesn't know, Daisy's written a book called The Angels of Awakening, Lessons of Love, Life and Creation, and we've got a course coming out soon, and a second book hopefully before too long, so stay tuned. Daisy really is one of the most wonderful teachers you could find, so please check out her website. It's daisyfoss.com. And Daisy, the last question, if you could pass on a message, if you could speak on behalf of all of Glastonbury, all of Avalon, and share a message with the rest of the world and everyone who might watch this later, what would you say? What would your message be?
I would say come here with an open heart, with an open mind, and be absolutely embraced by the love and the magic that Avalon and Glastonbury has to offer. Because it's all here. You just have to come and be in that state of giving and receiving. Because as you give and you receive, the energy just flows, and it really flows through the waters, through the air, through the land, through the fire. It's absolutely beautiful, and it is all about love, one heart as one.
Brilliant. Thank you, Daisy. That was such a good interview.
Oh, bless
I really
you.
enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Woohoo! Guess how long it was?
11 minutes.
14 minutes and 40 seconds. 1440. That wasn't even planned.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, that was so cool.
It was. Lovely questions. Well done.
Thank you, Daisy.
We can
Was
do
it
that every
okay?
week. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that every week.
Yay.
Different question, different answer,
Yeah.
and have it as an advert for the